All right, guys, welcome to episode 83. Some headlines. We got some breaking news coming out. Free giveaway. We're talking about the latest and greatest AI tools that Trainer Roads can use to help make you faster.
Oh my goodness!
And and we're going to talk about the old UCI, making sure that we're safe and keeping all the dopers at bay.
Keep the sport clean.
Keeping it clean, guys. Keeping it clean. We also get into the topic of is gravel too serious, Danny?
It might be. I don't know.
It's getting too serious.
Is there money involved?
A little bit. We got some exciting news. More exciting than just having us weekly.
Yeah, right.
So we've been kind of sitting on this for a little while. We talked to Eric in the past. He gave us a discount code, and so then he also let us have a free entry into open range.
Yeah. So
not free for us.
Right.
We're going to give it away.
I mean, can I win?
You could. All you got. So all you got to do is leave a thumbs up, a heart, a comment on the video. Wherever you see it, I'll find it, and then your name is going to be entered into a pool, and we're going to draw that in March.
In March.
Yeah, for March Madness.
Nice.
So
we got some ideas on how we're going to do the drawing. So stay tuned for that. But this, you said you got to like. What is it? Like, comment, heart.
No. Either like,
okay.
Or you got to give a thumbs up in the comments, or a heart in the comments, or
in the comments,
leave a comment.
It needs to be in the comments.
In the comments.
Okay.
Yes. So in the comments, you can't just like the video.
Yeah.
Which would be nice. You could do that.
Yeah.
Which would be super great.
Sure.
But again, it's going to be really hard for me.
It can be on
that.
YouTube, Instagram,
Spotify, Instagram. I'll check Apple.
All the stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if you can comment on Apple.
I don't think you can. We're not going to worry about the Apple.
I'm not in charge of the Apple.
Sorry for
stuff.
the Apple folks.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys.
I know there's at least one.
Yeah. There's just this guy over here that's part of the Apple universe. So,
so this feels like it feels a lot like engagement farming to me. Let's just call it what it is.
It's exactly what it is.
Okay, just checking. All right.
So we do have the goal of getting more subscribers and more listeners.
I'd like to see 200 by the end of the season.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
200, 300,
500,
1,000, whatever.
1,500. I mean, don't stop.
Yeah, just don't stop. Just whatever. Again, it's just one of the things we're promoting, one of our favorite races.
Yeah.
And we just want to share it with anybody. So if you know anybody who wants to do this race, but they're like, I don't know, get them to listen to the episode.
That's
get
right.
them to leave a comment.
First, get them to sign up for the race, just so that way we know they're in.
Exactly.
But then everybody, even if you've already registered, you get a shot. So don't miss out on that. You got a shot at getting your money back on the race.
Yep.
And having a free entry out of it.
Yep. So even if you're doing the 100K or the 200K,
doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to be eligible to either get into the race or get your money back. So
yeah.
Just leave something in the comments so I can track you down.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be sure and leave a couple comments.
Yeah.
Do I get multiple entries?
Not yet.
All right.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how much you guys.
Trying, folks.
Yeah.
Trying.
We'll see how much you guys
stickler
go.
over there. Why
Why
are you making this all serious?
I don't know.
You're being so serious about this.
So serious.
Almost
haven't you heard, Danny? Haven't you heard how gravel is turning serious?
I've heard a couple of things about it.
Yeah.
I heard some European talking about gravel.
Yeah. I love it. So I love it when the Euros talk about gravel.
Yeah.
Right?
Do they have gravel?
It's like us talking about the Tour de France.
I know,
we
right?
have no idea.
Yeah. Well, you sent me a podcast that was talking about gravel being maybe a little too serious, and it's a podcast we both enjoy watching. So
yeah,
but I think it is it's so funny. There's different ambassadors of the spirit of gravel.
Yes,
there's different people out there that are like, that's the de facto person for spirit of gravel.
Yeah, if you want to know the spirit of gravel, you ask this guy.
Yeah, right. He is the
spirit
expert.
gravel.
Yeah, he is the it and the spirit of gravel.
Yes.
So, but in any case, there is a lot of conversation about gravel getting too serious, and I know we try to stay with the local theme here, so we'll tie this back to local. So don't give up on us yet. But I know we talked last episode, or no, 2 episodes ago, something like that, about the whole notion of team specialized,
Yep.
and how that's a powerhouse now. And I know you've got some qualms about the team aspect in gravel. So I think it's pretty clear, though, gravel is getting more refined. Let's put it that way. It's no longer is it the rough specimen it once was. It is definitely getting trimmed down, refined, as I said.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the podcast that we were listening to, it's the Roadman podcast, if you want to check it out.
Yeah.
It was a good listen. It basically kind of what it was boiling down to was that, like, you don't want this to turn in, you don't want gravel to, we don't need gravel to turn into the world tour or,
Sure.
your local crit racing, if you still have it. It's, just taking everything a little bit too serious.
Yeah.
I remember when I started cycling, like, there was crit races, there was a summer series that I would attend. There was, crit racing happening around, within a 50-mile radius. Like, you could get like 10 or 15 crit races. Now, I think there's only one person here in the Kansas City, or one business or race organizer that does crit racing here in the Kansas City area, and it's like one a month.
Okay.
For like 3 or 4 months.
Sure.
And other than that, like, you got to go to Tulsa for Tulsa Tough. The amount of racing that, like, there used to be is not here anymore.
Road cycling is nowhere near what it once was, right?
Yeah, and I feel like it just got too much ego.
Maybe.
Before it, it just kind of ruined itself.
Sure.
For the fun. Like, again, if you go to these crit races, or if you're curious about crit racing, like, everybody there is super awesome, super nice, super, like, relaxed and chilled. But I want to say, like, it kind of gives off the triathlon vibe of just being a little bit too elite for not wearing any socks. Like,
I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to judge you, but
others will judge you.
That's right.
Yes. And I've seen that too, where there's been articles written too about triathlon, being able, can it get away from its elitist, its persona. Just people think, you have to have the best TT bike or the best, running shoes. You got to be like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Where most of us triathlon dorks are we're just dorks. Yeah. I'm just happy there's more people to do it with than just do it by myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think on the gravel side, as we talked, I want to repeat the episode before, but the whole team thing doesn't really bother me too much at the pro level. I guess I would question, like, how many people even care? Okay, I mean,
I care, Danny.
Yeah, I know you do.
I'm the spirit of gravel,
right? Here. And I care that you care. So we have that under.
My feelings are valid.
They are. They are valid. Yes, they're valid. Yes. So, but I mean, I think I guess the way I look at this is how many people roll up to races and really care, like, what the nuances of the pro aspect are. Probably not a lot. I'm guessing a good number of people go to events because, hey, this is going to be a fun event, and I just want to go race it. So on the surface, I don't have a problem with some of this stuff. I mean, if the pro division wants to do things a certain way, and we saw this with Unbound, right? There are certain rules about aero bars that apply to the pros that don't apply to the amateurs. And it's like, well, okay, well, you've split it out. I mean, the pros already get a head start. They basically have the course to themselves for for all intents and purposes. So if you want to give them a special rule book, I guess go for it. Whatever. From an amateur perspective, it still feels like they're, yes, there's certain safety things that they consider, but I do get a little skeptical when organizations start saying, well, we're doing these rules for your safety. Like,
yeah,
are you though?
Are you?
And I don't know. Like the what was the headline about Leadville and drop bars?
Yeah,
right. And like that's another one, right? So here you're sort of stifling innovation. Like maybe there's a rider safety component around drop bars and descending on rough mountainous terrain, and I guess I would leave that up to the rider to decide what their capabilities support. But if the concern is like, oh well, the equipment isn't really meant for that, and it's not suitable for that kind of riding, well, maybe we ought to let companies engineer better equipment.
Yep.
Because that's what they want to do, right? They want ways to sell this stuff.
Yeah, and so speaking on the engineering side, Pinarello came out with a drop bar mountain bike.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, they banned it from.
Right.
They banned those from.
Yeah. So I guess
Leadville.
So I guess as long as you're not doing the Leadville event, I guess you can buy it and go do it. But I think that's where I go back to how many people really care. Like, will people still buy that Pinarello bike if it even sees the market now? It may not see the market,
right?
But will people buy that bike and ride it because they can? Like, Specialized had the Athos bike. It can't be UCI approved because it's too light.
Yep.
It's too light of a bike. But people still buy them and ride them all the time.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
And I guess that's why I keep coming back to, like, I don't know if people really care. Like, we care because we kind of follow this stuff, and it's like we kind of want to have the same set of rules and like experience that the pro rider would have, and I think that's sort of the draw to it for a lot of people. But I don't know, average person that's just getting into gravel, they probably don't care.
Yeah,
I don't know. But is it getting too serious? And we talked about Unbound and how like that's such a
and that's what I was saying. It feels so uptight.
Yeah.
The race does and I think it has the thing that I have is Unbound is such a big event, and and you were alluding to this too before when we were talking before the show, is that it's just this, like, you may only do it once. Like, it is such a huge deal for the
legend and lore of Unbound, right?
There's just all this mystique and all this, like, again, like, you get to the starting line and you don't know if you're going to finish.
Yeah.
I was in great shape.
Right.
Great shape. I was flying.
Until you weren't.
Until I wasn't. Until everything fell apart. So, you do, on these big events, like, you don't know. And so I think there's, you were saying, like, just nerves and that kind of stuff. And a lot of us handle nerves in a different way. I tend to joke around and try to be funny. Some people clam up. And some people just clam up and take everything really seriously.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing, though, about gravel, so, gravel, so to me, like, when I think about, hey, when we first started riding gravel, it was just for the fun, right? And then you inevitably, the more you ride, the more you start challenging yourself and you want to compete, not everybody, but a lot of people, like, you start to get to a certain level of riding, and then you're like, oh, I'm not that far from the next level. And it just kind of, you start to challenge yourself and all that. I think that's always going to be there. I don't see gravel turning into like I think in triathlon, and I can say this honestly, like, when I first started thinking about a triathlon, I'm like, oh shoot, I got to look at like an $8,000 TT bike so that I can at least have a chance on the course, because I mean that's what
I won't even know if I'll be able to finish if I don't if I don't have the latest and greatest bike.
And that's absolutely not. In fact, there's a lot of people that do them on a road bike. I mean, I probably wouldn't recommend it for certain courses, but hey, if that's all you have, go for it. And I think that aspect of gravel is still always going to be there. Like, hey, if you've got an old 1993 mountain bike that you love, and that's what you want to ride on gravel, bring it, ride it. We're all going to be here and having a good time. But are the pros taking it too seriously? Probably. Yeah. Probably. I mean, maybe not, because it's their livelihood. So I guess, you want to take it seriously, but
I think that's the thing, right? Like, and that's another point that I was going to bring up too, is that this is kind of like gravel in the US, is kind of like one of your only few pathways to being like world tour,
to having a professional life in cycling.
Yes. Yeah. So it's going to get more serious before it gets less serious, because there's just no other avenues for, really good riders to, I mean, like I was saying, there's not a huge crit scene going on anymore. There's
not a lot of road racing.
There's not, I mean, heck, there's maybe like 4 or 5.
I mean, think about U.S. born riders that are in the world tour now, and most of them, what did they do? They had to move to Europe so that they could compete and train, and they probably moved to Europe before they became a pro. Yeah, because that was the only way they were going to be around and in the atmosphere to get better. And I bet the same thing kind of happens on the gravel front. If you kind of fast forward a few years, you might see where any Europeans that want to really take gravel seriously. And I know there's gravel races over there, but it's not
the
gravel.
same. No.
It's So I mean, you might start to see where riders have to come over here because they got to be in the environment that the races are where the premier races are at.
Yeah.
So, but it probably is. I mean, I don't too serious. I don't know if it's the part that I hang up on is too serious.
Right.
Is it getting more serious? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely getting more. I don't know if it's too serious because again, you're talking about people. Anytime you pair up a person's livelihood and what they do to create a life for themselves, yeah, people are going to take it pretty seriously, and it's going to go to an extreme, I'm sure.
I mean, have we started seeing like altitude training for these gravel races? Have you started to see like, measuring out your, rice the day before to the nearest grain of rice? Like, have you like just people targeting these races? And again, the pros do what the pros do to win, but like you have that kind of trickling down, like in triathlon, you have that kind of trickling down to the amateur side where you have, the pro, not semi-pro triathletes or the hardcore amateurs are like, oh, I got to do, what the latest, diet thing is, or
I would say here's probably the rule that applies to everything, right? It's like like when I say it's gonna be, oh yeah, no kidding, it's pretty obvious. The more money that gets put into it, the more serious it's going to get.
Yeah.
So that's really the factor here, and this is the sort of cycle that you're going to find yourself in if you're worried about these things. It's like, well, I want the sport to grow. Okay, how do I grow the sport? Well, I need money to bring awareness and whatever to the sport to make it more appealing and get people involved in the marketing and the advertising. Okay, well, if you need more money, how are you going to get it? Well, I got to get sponsors, or I got to drum it up from the community or whatever. Well, that anytime you ask somebody for money, it comes with an expectation.
Yep.
Some kind of an expectation. It may just be like the expectation is, hey, you're going to produce a quality product so I can enjoy it. That's a ticket.
Yeah.
Or you're going to say, well, I'm going to produce the money, or I need to, get money from somebody, and then the expectation is you're going to pay it back with some sort of interest, which means you got to make money.
Right.
So it's going to get serious, and I have a feeling. Again, fast forward a few years, I'm sure gravel cycling is going to be a lot like road racing is now. But if you look at it, even road racing in Europe is struggling.
Yeah.
Like road racing is struggling bad, and there are mega teams, a few of them, and then there's everybody else.
Yep.
And so I don't think they figured out the business model that works yet. And I'm wondering if gravel is trying to find that right now.
Yeah.
And that's why we're kind of wondering.
Before it gets too late.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know if too serious, but it's a fun conversation for sure, especially like when we care about this stuff. Like the last thing we want to see is where these big events, Unbound, any of these big lifetime events, especially, because let's face it, those are the premier events in the United States.
Well, it's the closest thing that we have to like, high level racing.
Yeah, not that
here.
there aren't other premier events. I'm just saying, like, when you think about like the series and a professional level, like, yes, there are pros that ride all the other stuff. Point is that what I hope we never see is, well, here's the day the pros ride, and then everybody else is the next day or the week later or whatever. Because I have a feeling that, to me, like when you start creating that separation, it's like, well, now is that any different than any other sporting event?
Yep.
So anyway.
Yeah, I think the thing that I always tend to like, you always hear the pros asking, well, we should have like our own day or our own thing, and I'm like, you can do that, but I think you're going to kill the sport that way because again, the reason I like riding Unbound is because like, me and Keegan are on the same course. And
you never see him.
I never see him. One time I saw a pro.
If you never see him, how do you know he's really there?
Exactly.
The
helicopter tells me.
Right. It was funny. We both saw a couple of pros last year because they got shelled out because they got flat tires.
They got flat tires. So we did ride with a couple of pros, and they were just kind of noodling at the back, and we're trying our hardest to just ride, and they're just kind of like, I'm just taking it easy, just kind of finishing. It's my first one, and just want to see what it's like. And you're just like, I'm just dying out here, man. And you're just out here just goofing. So again, it's not saying that like we're on that level, but it's nice to know that like you're on the same course and you're all experiencing the same stuff. And there's something to that, like that mass participation that I think like pros just don't seem to get all the time. Again, they're doing it for money. And like if like me or Danny were to cause one of them to crash because we somehow caught up to them or something like that, that would be a different story.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean, maybe we can train hard enough that we'll be able to bridge the gap between the pro start and the amateur start. You know?
Definitely.
Yeah. And we can figure out if it's too serious or not.
Yeah. We can ask them all. It's like, do you think this is too serious?
So you want to shift topics just a little bit?
Yeah, we'll shift topics.
Real quick,
Go for it.
we were chatting about some adjustments in the training that I've been making over the last couple of weeks now. Well, it's about 3 weeks ago that I made the adjustments, and I got to say I'm really happy with my adjustments. I'm happy with the adjustments. What I'm not happy about is I feel like my riding volume is a little too light because I've historically, especially towards the end of January, like I really start to ratchet up the volume, and there's not a lot of riding volume right now. So I'm getting a little a little nervous. You know that whole like trust the plan, trust the process. I'm testing that right now a lot.
He's
right.
Really holding on.
Yeah. So I'm
it.
doing a lot more strength work, which is good. I don't know how, I don't know. I mean, it's only been 3 weeks, so it's like there hasn't been enough time there for real adaptation, but it's definitely gotten different. It's good. Most of this is being driven by a combination of experience plus some AI capabilities and a platform that I switched to, which I'm not going to name quite yet on here because
we're going to see if it works. If it works, then we're going to tout its stuff.
And if you follow me on Strava, you already know, so don't worry about that. But I'm not going to announce it here yet. But I noticed there's a competing platform.
Yes.
Your good old friend Trainer Road has rolled out a whole bunch of new capabilities and features. New. So talk to us a little bit about what you're seeing on some of that, because I can't wait to get into this conversation.
So if Trainer Road, which is I've been a long time supporter.
One of my favorite platforms.
Yes,
by the way.
As far as cycling goes, it's probably been the best cycling tool for
a lot of people.
For a lot of people, and triathlon for a lot of people.
Right.
So it has updated its AI tools to have AI FTP detection,
which it had already.
But this is the newer version. So it says it's what 20% better at detecting your FTP.
Sure.
It also has basically like a fatigue monitoring, just to let you know if you're going to be fatigued or not. If you're questioning whether or not you should ride hard the day and then it's a yellow day, then you should maybe back it off. If not, then you can continue. Just know that, again, it's taking that stuff into account. The AI already updates all. If you have a training plan in there, it will automatically update your future rides on your either completion or your feedback given for the current ride.
Right.
So that's been updated a little bit better.
Which it used to do a lot of this kind of stuff anyway. Again,
that's why we were saying the new thing in quotation marks.
Maybe they've refined the algorithms.
Yeah. So they've maybe refined the AI tools a little bit better. So it comes a little better is what they were claiming, that you're getting, better adjustments.
Yeah.
They're shooting for like a 70% completion on the workouts that it picks compared to the workouts that you would pick or a coach would pick or something like that.
Yeah.
Again, so this is what I did, Danny. So I have my whole race schedule for 2026.
Okay.
And I have it pretty much planned until I would say probably mid-July.
Okay.
So it's an outline. For me, it's always an outline of a plan of what you want to do, kind of an idea of your hours, like what my volume of hours would be.
Right.
Okay. So
how many hours you're going to commit for the week?
Exactly. How many I'm going to commit for the week, how much I'm going to be planning. So let's take Unbound. That's my A race for the year, right?
Yep.
So peak hours for me on Unbound are going to be around 25 hours
Okay.
on the bike
Okay.
only.
Yep.
Okay. So just think about that, just how that's going to, work out into a week or whatever, however
How
you
would
want
you break that up?
how you would
Yep.
break it up or whatever. So then I did the same thing. I inputted all my races.
Mm-hmm.
I put them A, B, and C. I put all the times, like my goal times for
Yeah.
each race, how
Yeah.
hard I was going to ride them, all that stuff. I filled it out to the
Sure.
best of my ability.
Yeah.
Again, I have, what is it? We have 5 gravel events that are going to be the
Like the B and C events.
no,
that we do.
what is it called? The Great Plains Gravel Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have, Dirty Disco.
Yep.
So I have a bunch of gravel stuff in there.
Okay.
And then I have like 5 triathlons in there.
Okay.
So the biggest difference that I saw, even though I have my 70.3s, if I do the 2 that I'm thinking about as B races,
Yeah.
it only gave me riding to do.
So
and it gives me weekly rides, 3
Okay.
weekly rides only, about an hour to an hour and 15,
Okay.
anywhere from 3 to 10 hours
Okay.
of volume
A volume a week
a week.
for the duration of the plan.
Yes.
So
All the way through October.
So if I'm reading the announcement correctly, it would adjust your volume as you gain more fitness. It will adjust your volume accordingly.
Yes.
So
Up to 5 hours for your long
long ride.
Yes.
Yeah. So if it's actually working, it should over time start to adjust all of your workouts to fill out to that 25 hours a week.
Yes.
If it's working the way we would intuitively think it would work.
Right.
Right. Okay. But it is a little unnerving when you see it and you're like, oh, here's my plan, and I've only got like 10 hours of activities a week.
Yeah.
When you know you're willing and able to commit more than that.
Right. I'm already committing more than that.
That's right.
So my plan right now is, I think this week is 9 hours.
Okay.
So, and it says, oh, you should just do 3.
I think what's interesting is it knows you're doing triathlons, but it doesn't have any scheduled runs for you in there.
Yeah. Any
Or
swims
Yeah.
or runs. Even though I've been doing,
Yeah.
I've been running 2 times a week
Yeah.
with one of my athletes, and I've been swimming at least 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah. Yeah. So it feels like it's a little buggy still.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I don't.
Again, and then I changed the priority.
Yeah.
So again, all the gravel races except for Open Range and Unbound,
Mm-hmm.
they're all C's.
Okay.
I have a block of 3 Olympic races that are C's.
Yeah.
And then I have my A race is Unbound, and then I have a B race and another B
Yeah.
race
I don't know.
that
I
are
mean,
triathlon.
to me, that feels really confusing, and it really puts a lot of you just got to trust it. I don't have to know every detail, but I like to know like what's the goal and objective of each section of the plan.
Yeah.
And when I just see like what appears to be sort of scattered 10 hours worth of
Oh,
volume a
it
week,
says,
like,
it breaks everything, like, is it base, build,
Sure.
specialty, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but
But
that's
again,
not quite enough.
and the thing that it does is it just goes, oh, you're just going to do 3 workouts a week. And you're like, am I going to be able to finish Unbound in
Yeah.
12 hours on 3 workouts a week?
That's the thing. It's like we talked about that. What's the minimum amount of volume? And that's not the way you want to approach this, but I'm just saying like,
Well,
what's the
the
minimum?
way I approach coaching too is the minimum amount of the minimum amount of input to get the most amount of
Right.
gains. Like if you lift
Yeah,
weights or any of that
Sure.
stuff, like you get 95% of your gains from, like, let's say lifting a weight, right?
Sure.
To try to get that next 5%, you really risk injury and
and it takes more
burnout
time commitment,
and more time than it did to just get the 95%. Of the gains.
but where I was going is like if I go with what's the minimum amount of time, training time, weekly volume needed to complete Unbound 200, it's going to be more than 10 hours a week.
Yeah.
So like just on the surface, this plan does not add up.
Right.
And I get it. It's like, oh, well, we're going to adapt you as you get more fitness. Like, okay, but put the goal out. So I want to be able to see like, hey, in a month before, I'm doing some 6 and 7 hour rides out there. And I know maybe it only caps it at 5, and that's fine. You can get away with 5. You could probably do it on 5 hours for a long ride. That's fine. You should probably test longer than that, but hey. So I don't know. It just feels like it basically feels like it's a plan as you go, not here's a plan, go execute it. It's sort of, we're going to keep making adjustments. So you really never know what to expect.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the thing that I look at too is, when you have a wife and kids and family commitments and stuff, I do this for my athletes. I plan out their hours, and I'm like, look, if you're continuing, I take their previous history and their time and all that stuff. And, I ask them, like, how much time do you have to commit? Like, what's your maximum? Do you think that you could commit? I take all these factors and say, okay, these weeks, let's say if you're doing Unbound or whatever, in April, the end of April, you're going to be having these weeks that are this amount of time.
Right.
If everything goes okay, and we don't have to make any adjustments.
Injuries, all that kind of stuff.
But it's nice for them to go like, okay, so now I can tell my family like, hey, these are my peak weeks of the racing schedule. Yeah. Like, and you guys are either, and I not going to miss these workouts. Yeah. You're not going to see me, or you're going to have to fend for yourselves, or like whatever's going on. It's a nice thing to do. But when you look at this trainer road thing, it's just like, just 3 hours every week for the next, and
that's not realistic.
30 weeks. Yeah. I'm like,
that's going to change.
Yeah. It's going to change. Yeah. And you're just like, it would be nice to just be like, hey, if, general principles of training apply, 20% growth or 15% growth or something.
You would
like
think
that
their model would just assume. So here's the thing that's kind of irking me about this whole thing. In one side of the releases, they do this, build the plan like you were just talking about. But then on the other side of the feature release, they talk about AI FTP prediction. I'm looking at it here right now. Yeah. Live AI FTP prediction, and it's going to predict what your FTP in the future, 28 days. So it's going to predict what your FTP is going to be in the future, and you can see how every change to your training calendar will affect it, giving you confidence in your training. So I wonder what your future FTP looks like if you're doing 3 to 10 hours of riding a week.
So here's what I did. I let it detect my FTP. Uh-huh. I would say I'm about 290. Okay. Is my FTP. It gave me 287. All right. So I was like, all right, cool. You're close enough on that one, whatever. That's what I've just been feeling like. I feel like it's, I did a sweet spot ride this week, and it, just felt
kind of where you're at.
I was like, this seems about right. Sure. I didn't do it on Trainer Road. This is the one I was doing. I made it for myself. Yeah. And then it gave me, 4 weeks from now, it was like, well, you're going to be at 309 or 310 or whatever. Just, down to the number. I'm like, I don't even give my athletes that. I usually just round down or up, depending on what kind of test. Like, I'm not going to be like, you don't go up to somebody like, hey, what's your FT? Oh, it's 385. Yeah. 380. It's
382 and a half.
386.5. Like, we're not, dude. Just
doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's a lot easier just to keep it with the fives. Like it's like 310 or whatever. And it's, but the other thing I noticed too, it's like, I only have to do what over 4 weeks, I only have to do 12 workouts, and my FTP is going to be 20 something watts, 30 watts higher. Yeah, not 20 watts higher.
Not buying it. Yeah. So I guess so. Needless to say, I'm a little skeptical of the features that they've released. I mean, here's the thing. I've used Trainer Road for a long time. I think we've talked about this before. I think it's a great starting platform, and it's probably very good for people who are well trained and dedicate a lot to this. I bet, and especially if you're focusing specifically on bike riding.
Yeah, if you're focusing on a single sport, so if you're focusing on cycling or triathlon, really, really great. Yeah. But if you start blending the two, that's where it gets confused. It starts to fail. Yeah. It doesn't know really which is the priority or what you're doing consistently. Yeah. The other part too is, I have athletes that use Trainer Road, and I just suggest their workouts for them and all that kind of stuff.
I guess the other thing I struggle with though is like, what's the purpose of predicting what my FTP might be and in 4 weeks. I mean,
just to kind of string you along, buddy.
Well, but here's the thing, like that's, yeah, I know, right? It's just, oh darn, my FTP didn't hit that target. I failed.
I failed. Yeah.
But now I'm a failure. Like, see, this is the thing. It perpetuates this myth that, if all you have to do is go execute the workout. Well, no, that's not all you have to do. And I don't care how many simulations you run and everything else. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there that think that life is a simulation. Maybe it is, but tends to not be, because a lot of random things tend to happen. You can get sick. Maybe that's part of the simulation, but Trainer Road won't simulate that.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't take
and that's
into
the thing.
account
Like,
sick days
life
or
gets
any
in
of
the
that.
way, and so I think by trying to set these expectations for people, like, oh, your FTP is going to jump 15 points in 4 weeks. This feels like weight loss programs to me. Like, this just feels gimmicky. Like, I'm sorry, and I like Trainer Road, I really do, but this feels like somebody's trying to figure out how do I generate features to convince people to keep paying a subscription fee.
Right.
That's what it feels like. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope this stuff changes the way everybody trains, and it's a phenomenal thing that, gets great results. I'm not seeing it. And I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I am wrong, because I would love to see Trainer Road kind of come back to what I thought it once was, and feel like it's gotten way
it
down.
Seems like it added
path.
features that kind of nobody really asked for. But
there's solutions looking for a problem.
Yeah, and it was like they kind of made it because somebody was like, well, we already track this, so like let's go ahead and just add that as a feature.
Yeah. So this is the other thing. I'm sorry not to go dwell on this, but fatigue detection. So it says it's been updated to let you see how training will affect your future training fatigue. So basically, it's going to forecast how the training plan that it's mapped out for you, how it's going to impact your overall fatigue, like put you into a yellow or a red day. And it's like, you can avoid overreaching, recover smarter. A good plan already has that considered. That's why you plan it out, so that you can look at that and say, oh, I probably should not have 3 VO2 max workouts back to back. That's not a good idea. So I'm not sure what fatigue detection really does, because most of the time excess fatigue comes from somebody didn't follow the plan, right? They did something that was not on the plan, meaning like, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to do my weightlifting regimen at the same time as my bike workouts. And now I've added this extra stress that's not accounted for in my bike plan.
Yep.
Or, hey, I decided this week I'm going to go do a group ride, and instead of the scheduled 2.5 hour endurance, and I did a 3 hour group ride with about 18 sprints in it somewhere. Like, that's how, like, this is just wild to me.
So I went to Masters last night.
Yeah.
I swam in my normal lane, but I swam in the back. So I wasn't the lane leader like I usually am.
Sure.
Setting the pace. I was just
following along,
going with the flow. Following along, getting the draft,
hanging in the draft,
taking it easy.
Yeah. You're like me for a change. Yeah,
it was,
I got it.
So I looked on Trainer Road last night.
Put you in the red, didn't it?
It did after last night. I did not swim hard. At all. It was a pretty easy workout. It was not. It was not crazy. I logged my times as to the best of my ability. We did do some like IM stuff where I had to do some, breaststroke, and I had to do some butterfly and stuff, which is fatiguing, but I didn't do anything more than I would normally do. Yeah. And so today it gave me a red day. So
take the day off.
Said take the day. And I'm like, no. I'm like, that's not part of the plan. The plan is that I got to ride my bike today.
Yeah.
And it's an easy ride.
Sure.
It's the plan that I put in took into account that Thursdays, I know the Masters coach, I know who's coaching it. I know what they usually like to do. Yeah. And it's in my plan to do that. And the thing is like, you're trying to make this AI like a coach, but it's not a coach. And the thing is that with a coach, the coach knows you and knows like what you're doing and who you're doing stuff with, like, who you're going to Masters with and what lane you're swimming in. Like, there's none of that in this AI FTP, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I think part of the challenge too is there.
Oh, the other part too that kind of bugs me about Trainer Road, grinds my gears.
Yeah, right.
No,
we did that episode.
Right. Is there's no there's no testing of the run or the swim.
Yeah.
If you do a strictly triathlon based program,
that's always been missing though. There's no
it's always been missing
critical speed tests.
Yes, but it would be something that they could implement. It's not hard.
Yeah.
And you could basically just they have, again, if they're using the data,
right?
Like, what are they have all of these triathletes that use this platform. A lot more. I think there's a lot more triathletes that I know that use Trainer Road than I do that cyclists use Trainer Road.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like know your client base. And I agree. I think they missed an opportunity to invest in triathlon capabilities, which, maybe they feel like they've already maximized the market on that, so they're going after so maybe there's a business decision here to just focus on cyclists. But I mean, I agree. Most people I know that use Trainer Road are triathletes. And what's interesting is we used Trainer Road when we did Ironman in 23, and we both, I know I did. We both loved the running plan that it put together for that, because the time-based progressions that it gave us and the intensity of the workouts was like, that was exactly what we needed for that Ironman. Now, going back and doing it again, and we used a different training mechanism for the standalone marathon the following year, which I love that plan for a standalone marathon. I think if we were going to go do an Ironman again, I might blend the two somehow, or at least blend the concepts. But I think as a first-time full Ironman distance triathlete, that plan was phenomenal, which again is why I would sit there and say, I love Trainer Road. There was a point in time where I absolutely loved Trainer Road. I think all this AI stuff that they put in, first of all, I think they're playing off of marketing and buzzwords.
Yep.
I do believe they have some real intelligence in terms of like algorithms and data analysis, and all. I think that's probably some real stuff in there, but I'm not going to sit here and say that it is somehow better than some of the old school concepts and just monitoring your fatigue in different ways. And that's why I think I like the other platform that I'm using right now, because it's using your biometric data that it's collecting off your wearables, and it's using the training plan that it's put together and knows kind of where you should be, where you're actually at based on real measurements, and it's using that data and then doing the analysis to say, oh, you didn't sleep well last night. Now it really is a red day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I had that happen a couple of times, and you know what it does? It says, hey, here are some alternatives you can do instead. And if you want to try down this path, like for instance, if you want to do the full strength workout, try just doing this many sets instead. And that's sort of the bare minimum to just to kind of work, to basically punch the clock and move on.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, rather than just shut it down for the day and do nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I feel like Trainer Road, I feel like they're throwing darts a little bit here with features and concepts and ideas. I'm like you said, who asked for this?
Yeah.
You know, like who's like out there going, oh, you know what we really need? I need to know.
I need the AI to be 10% better.
Well, and I need it to tell me what it thinks my FTP is going to be in 4 weeks when it has no idea what I've got going on in my life. Because we all know FTP is subject to life stresses, right?
Yep, and it changes day to day.
Every single day, it's something different. So why does it even matter what it thinks it's going to be in 4 weeks? Oh, but if you do these workouts exactly as prescribed, oh, okay. So if I'm in a laboratory and I just stay in this bubble constantly, this is where I'll be.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that were true, you'd see every pro in a bubble, literal bubble.
Yeah.
Like that's not true. Like there's no way.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, I feel like it's gimmicky. I'm sorry. I just do. I think it's gimmicky. Here's the thing.
I think you're right. I think, and I listened to the podcast before.
I didn't even do that. I wasn't even going to give them the time.
Before we even recorded.
I did read the blog post. But
yes,
I
did listen to it because, again,
yeah.
I started with Trainer Road back when it first started up. So
you've been around. You're an OG.
Yeah, I am like an OG subscriber. And my data set is probably one of the ones that they used.
They probably did.
Train the AI on it.
Like make sure nobody does anything like what this guy does.
Yeah, don't
this follow this guy.
Idiot. But again, I think it's good to see again if you're and I have my athletes do this too. They like challenge me on like, well, why are we doing this workout, or what's the benefit of doing this cadence work? And the thing is, me as a coach, I come back with the answer. This is what I see in your data.
Yeah.
And this is what I think we can improve.
Yeah.
And if they don't feel like that's something that they want to work on, then we don't work on it.
Yeah. So similarly, because I look at things, I think we both look at things very, very common. We have a common way of approaching like how workouts should generally be structured, and whether it's correct or right or wrong, I don't know. We're all trying to figure this stuff out, but we have a very similar approach in terms of like how we think we would target certain types of issues and training plans and like getting the results we want. So similar to like how your athletes are coming to you with the program that I'm using, I challenge it just like I would expect an athlete to challenge me if I'm giving advice. And it comes back with legitimate answers that you can tell are based in some like reason, right? And you're like, then it's up to you to just kind of, this is why I think AI is very good with providing insights, ideas, options. It should not be the decision maker in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And that's why I felt like with it would have been nice with this model, just be like, you know, for me to just go back to trainer, like, hey, where are my swim and run workouts? Right. Like, why are they not in this plan? And then it could just go, well, since, you know, let's say you're doing basically 8 bike workout, or you're doing 8 events that are just bike specific, and you're only doing 5 events. So I basically
just stripped it out.
I just stripped out the swimming and the running, and basically
even an explanation.
Just something that's just like, this is what I see, or it could just be like, I looked at your training plan and it just looks unfeasible. Like it would be really hard for someone to complete this. Yeah. Right.
But that's the other thing I've disliked about when Trainer Road, because I was a subscriber when they first introduced all the AI stuff the first time, and there was never a explanation for how or why it did what it did. It just started making changes to your plan or started suggesting
you would
things.
do a workout, and the next thing it's like the next 6 workouts are being changed, and you're like, well, okay, did I do well? Did I do bad? Like I get that it's constantly updating itself, but you get to a point where you're like, hey man, I don't want it to like constantly update. I would like to just be able to be like, hey man, I got a busy week coming up next week. I can't do, I can't do all the stuff that you're asking. I would like it to just kind of stay. And I know you can say like, oh, don't accept the changes. But the problem is the next workout you complete, it'll try to implement the changes that it suggested before. So you're constantly declining the changes to try to like, hey, I know me, instead of like being like, hey, I got a busy week coming up. Can we scale some shit back?
So something tells me that if we had an opportunity to bring these directly to the Trainer Road folks, something tells me we would get the response that sounds something like, well, Trainer Road is really designed and developed for the dedicated athlete that's going to really make sure that they do everything that's on the plan, and they monitor their nutrition, and they take this stuff seriously, and they want the real results and the serious results. And so this is designed for the person who's going to commit and go execute the plan that's laid out. And it's like, so that means the rest of us aren't? Is that what you're trying to say? Right? So here's the reality though, is 99.9% of the participants in all these events are just normal people that have lives.
And do this for fun.
Yeah. So if the expectation is I have to be a structured, regimented athlete that doesn't allow life to get in the way ever, maybe that's not the right platform for me then.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you right now, there are other platforms, and just having a typical coach will help make sure that life might get in the way, but you're going to maximize the results the best you can. Yeah. And that's what most of us want. We just want to make sure that the time we're putting into this is generating the biggest impact and positive impact as possible.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'll let you know how everything goes, how it kind of pairs up, whether or not. Again, I look at what it's telling me to do, the AI, and then what I'm doing, and a lot of times they pretty much just match up because I know myself. Again, I'm just coaching myself, right? Yeah. For Unbound, but again, like it also goes to show, like I made this plan back in November. that I'm following. You know,
I just hope you follow the 10 hours per week and it never changes. And it'd be a fun season for me. I can't wait.
I would
can't
just
wait
be
for that.
so
Can't wait.
I mean, give me a ton of time to just kind of goof off and do other stuff, which is, it's fun too.
Show up to open range trained on only a few hours a week.
Yeah,
I can't
just
wait for that.
4 hours.
Yeah,
Like, well, this
so much fun.
This is going to be all my allotment for hours on this ride today.
Oh my gosh! So I guess one thing you could do is you could just go to the testosterone and steroid route. So.
Yeah. So of course we're nearing the February timeframe where the UCI likes to release
the hounds.
all the people it's banned.
Release the data.
For
let us show people that we're taking this seriously.
We're taking the doping stuff seriously, guys.
Seriously.
So yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. So the UCI banned a rider from Salt Lake, a 41-year-old American amateur cyclist, Matthew Clark, after he tested positive for anabolic androgenic steroids, testosterone. The positive test was taken on October 15th or October 16th of 2025 after he did the Gran Fondo World Time Trial Championship in Australia, which he won.
Yeah.
In the age group of 40 to 44.
Yeah.
Well, thank God I'm not in that age group anymore.
Yeah, no kidding. So
freaking bunch of dopers in there.
Well, it's funny because, I mean, I think the idea here is, again, they're trying to show that they're cracking down on those dopers. And again, I mean, we have a whole episode on this, so I don't want to beat the dead horse, but it's like, I will believe that they want to solve the problem when they solve the problem.
Yep.
Because it's just like,
and basically this guy was tested. He got popped on the day of doing the event.
Yeah.
Which is not, again, this, okay, so if you're going to dope, you're not going to dope the day that you're doing the event.
Right.
Okay. The other thing is that this guy, I don't know the levels. Was he juiced out of his mind? Was it just a therapeutic dose?
Sure.
And he didn't measure his TUE. Of course, they don't ever.
No, they won't disclose.
They won't disclose any of that.
Yeah.
And so, benefit of the doubt for this guy. He's 40 to 44.
Yeah.
He's probably on hormone replacement.
Could be.
And he got popped for it. And he just basically didn't have the TUE for it.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's, juicing so he can win age group nationals.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
But again, it's one of those things. You're going to start to see it. There's going to be a couple positive. See, guys, we're doing stuff.
Doing something about it.
We're doing it. We're keeping the sport clean, guys.
Yeah.
Again, this guy would, if you're going to dope, you're never going to dope the day that you're racing.
Maybe you didn't think he was going to get caught.
Even if you don't think that you're going to get caught, come on. They're going to test the winners, for sure, of any national thing. So, I mean,
I don't know. I don't really, it doesn't matter what the motivations are or any of that kind of stuff.
No, but I'm just giving, until other stuff is released, I'm giving this guy the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, it could be anything.
I mean, he is an age grouper. He's, he's probably like, man, I felt like I was 16 again.
Hey, he's no different than probably, quarter of the rest of the age groupers out there doing the same thing.
9 out of 10, I think, is the last study that I saw.
I guess, again, it keeps coming back to this. This is going to continue. Look, not to keep bringing it up, but it's like,
if the sport wants to be clean, it'll be clean.
And sometimes having just enough controversy is enough to keep the quicks coming and to keep the debate alive and to keep the money flowing on what we got to combat this stuff. It's like, all right, look, again, if you want to solve it, you will. If not, then just put a freaking doping division out there and be done with it. So I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. I wish I had the answer. I know the answer is not doing news drops in February to stroll these people along the street.
There's more coming. Stay tuned here because I will be glued to my Facebook.
It took until now. Why wasn't this released back in October when they probably
they had to test it?
Yeah, of course.
And then they had to test the B sample.
And then they did the B sample, and then they had to get all the lawyers involved. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
So it's like, all right, so back in October, this guy gets stripped of this podium, and then the second place guy, whatever. Like, again, the damage is already done.
Damage is done. The race happened.
Yep.
So, oh well, you know, I mean, there's gonna be, like you said, there's gonna be more of this. We'll see some of the pros. I'm sure there'll be a couple of things about a few pros that get popped as well. And now that the World Tour has started up in Australia, so who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
Can't wait to give away that race entry though.
Yep. Just leave a comment.
Leave a
or
comment.
a thumbs up comment or a heart comment if you're too afraid to write like I am. Like, you know, just something. Just let me know you're alive.
Yeah, right. Just get some kind of, you know, just let us feel like the engagement button will work.
Yeah.
Yeah.